Let me ask you something that might completely change the way you see money. You hear the word Bitcoin, and maybe you feel curious, maybe confused, maybe even a little skeptical. You've seen the headlines. Prices going up, prices crashing down, people getting rich overnight, others losing everything, and somewhere in the middle of all that noise, you've probably wondered, what actually is Bitcoin? Not the hype, not the headlines, not the influencers shouting buy now. The real explanation. Because once you understand this, truly understand it, you start to see money, banks, and the entire financial system in a completely different way. So today, we're going deeper than surface-level definitions. This is the greatest Bitcoin explanation you'll ever hear. Simple, clear, and powerful enough that by the end, you'll finally get it. And trust me, the last part of this video is where everything clicks. Before we talk about Bitcoin, we need to talk about money itself. Because here's the truth most people never question. Money is not what you think it is. Look at the cash in your wallet or the numbers in your bank account. It feels real, solid, reliable. But in reality, it's just a system of belief. Paper money has value because governments say it does, and because society agrees to treat it as valuable. That's it. It's not backed by gold anymore. It's not tied to anything physical. And more importantly, it can be created out of thin air. Every time a central bank prints more money, the total supply increases. And when supply increases, value decreases. That's inflation. It's why everything gets more expensive over time. Not because things are becoming more valuable, but because your money is becoming less valuable. Now think about this. If someone had the power to create more of something you own whenever they wanted, would that thing really be scarce? Would it really be secure? This is the exact problem Bitcoin was created to solve. Bitcoin was born in 2009, right after one of the biggest financial crises in history. Banks were collapsing. Governments were printing trillions to bail them out, and millions of ordinary people were left paying the price. Out of that chaos, a person or group under the name Satoshi Nakamoto introduced something radical, a new kind of money. Money that no government controls, money that no bank can manipulate, money that operates on pure mathematics instead of human decisions. And that's Bitcoin. At its core, Bitcoin is simply digital money, but that description doesn't do it justice, because unlike the money in your bank account, Bitcoin doesn't rely on trust in institutions. It relies on a system called the blockchain. Now, don't let that word intimidate you. Here's the simplest way to understand it. Imagine a global notebook, one that anyone can see, but no one can secretly change. Every transaction that ever happens with Bitcoin gets recorded in this notebook. Who sent it, who received it, when it happened. And once it's written, it cannot be erased. That notebook is the blockchain. Instead of being stored in one place, it exists across thousands of computers around the world, which means there is no central authority, no single point of failure, no one who can wake up one morning and decide to freeze your account. Now think about how powerful that is. With a bank, your money is technically not even yours. The bank holds it, controls it, and can restrict access to it. With Bitcoin, you hold it yourself. You are your own bank. No permission needed, no middleman, just you and your money. But here's where things get even more interesting. Bitcoin is limited. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin in existence. Not 22 million, not 30 million, exactly 21 million. And no one, not even its creator, can change that. Compare that to traditional money. Governments can print billions, even trillions whenever they choose. Bitcoin cannot be inflated. Now let's address the elephant in the room: price. You've seen Bitcoin go from a few cents to thousands to tens of thousands. And yes, it's volatile. But volatility is what happens when something new is being discovered by the world. Think about the early days of the internet. People didn't understand it. They doubted it. They underestimated it. Today, it runs everything. Bitcoin is going through a similar phase. It's not just a currency. It's a new financial system being built from the ground up, and that takes time. But here's the deeper question. Why do people believe in Bitcoin? Why does it have value? The answer is surprisingly simple, because people trust it more than they trust the existing system. They trust that it cannot be manipulated. They trust that it cannot be printed endlessly. They trust that it operates fairly for everyone. And in a world where trust in institutions is declining, that matters a lot.
Now let's make this practical. What can you actually do with Bitcoin? You can send money anywhere in the world instantly without needing a bank. You can store wealth in a form that cannot be inflated. You can take control of your own financial life. For people in countries with unstable currencies, Bitcoin isn't just an investment, it's a lifeline. It's protection against economic collapse, it's financial freedom. But let's be clear, Bitcoin is not magic. It's not a guaranteed path to wealth, and it's not without risks. Prices can fall, regulations can change, mistakes can be costly if you don't understand what you're doing. That's why education comes first, always. The smartest people don't rush in blindly. They learn, they observe, they understand, because once you understand Bitcoin, you stop reacting emotionally to price swings. You start thinking long-term, and that's where real power comes from. Here's something most people don't realize. Bitcoin is not competing with stocks. It's not competing with real estate. It's competing with money itself. It's challenging the very idea of how value is stored and transferred. And that's why it sparks so much debate. Because if Bitcoin succeeds, it changes everything. Banks become less powerful. Governments lose control over money supply. Individuals gain more control over their wealth. That's not just a financial shift. That's a societal shift. And whether you agree with it or not, it's already happening. So where does that leave you? Right now, you're early enough to learn, early enough to understand, early enough to decide for yourself. You don't need to invest today. You don't need to take huge risks, but ignoring it completely, that might be the biggest risk of all. Because every major shift in history rewards the people who understand it early and leaves behind those who dismiss it too soon. So take your time, read about it, watch more content, understand how wallets work, how security works, how the system actually functions. Because once you see it clearly, you can't unsee it. It gives control back to individuals, and it operates on rules, not decisions. Whether it becomes the future of money or simply a powerful alternative, one thing is certain: it has already changed the conversation. And the people who understand that conversation will be the ones who benefit from it. If this video helped you finally understand Bitcoin in a way that makes sense, hit that like button. It genuinely helps more people see this. And if you want a deep dive into how actually buy, store, and protect your Bitcoin safely, drop a comment below, because that's where things get really interesting. I'll see you in the next one.